Great.
Top 10. Black women changed history forever. Meet the famous females who defied the odds, pushed boundaries, and paved the way for future generations. Kamala Harris, the first female vice president and first nominee black women candidate for president. Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In April 2022, Ketanji Brown Jackson made history as the first black woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Oprah Winfrey, the first black woman billionaire. Oprah Winfrey, after founding her own production company and television network, Winfrey would go on to become the first black woman billionaire in the U.S. Mae Jemison, the first black woman in space. On September 12, 1992, Jemison boarded the space shuttle Endeavour. Laverne Cox, the first transgender woman to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award. The first transgender woman to appear on the cover of Time magazine. Wangari Maathai, the first black African woman to receive a Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts in environmental conservation. Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman to be elected to the United States Congress. Shirley Chisholm became known the first black woman to be elected to the United States Congress in 1968. Bessie Coleman, the first black woman plane pilot, won in 1920. Harriet Tubman, the first black woman anti-slavery activist. Harriet Tubman is best known for her efforts to move slaves to liberation. Elizabeth Freeman, the first female slave set free under the state constitution after she sued for her freedom in 1781.
All right, there go our brother.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that, man. I
man.
apologize.
So yeah, just honoring our black women during this Women's History Month, but specifically talking about being black, being a black man in the city of DC, and also running for office. You represent a lot of us young black men. You inspire a lot of us young black men. You actually educate a lot of us young black men when you speak certain truths. I think I told you personally, man, I appreciate some of the truths you speak to power and some of the things that you bring to our attention that we may not otherwise have even paid attention to. So yeah, just introduce yourself, brother. Tell us a little bit more about who you are and why you jumped into this race.
So, my name is Joe Jackson. My name is actually Joseph Jackson. But Joe Jackson is the title my father gave me because that's the title he named me and all my brothers. Himself and my other two brothers, we all named Joe Jackson. Um, I actually grew up from birth until about 12 years old in PG County, right in Capitol Heights, Maryland, right there by Eddie Lennox, right there by the line. Um, After that, I kind of was just out in the street as a young kid, running around back, trying to find myself. Um, but the reason, I'm not sure if you can still hear me. I see the camera went out.
We can
Uh,
still hear you.
okay, great. Um, so at 2 weeks old, man, my mother had to give me up for adoption. And she gave me up for adoption because her and my father were actually in the drug trade in DC and they got caught like most people do. My father got life, my mother was sent to witness protection. So at 2 weeks old, I was sent to live with the Franciscan nuns. I mean, I can't make this up. The Franciscan nuns are like, that's the Roman Catholic nuns back in the day with the white hoods, Sister Act. And although the woman that raised me was a very good woman, she was two generations older than me. She was a white woman, and I think that caused me to lose a lot of cultural identity as a young man because I had nobody around me to explain to me or teach me who I was. So when you have stuff that happens like that, no father in the house, you separated from your culture in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You usually go to the streets to try to find your way, and that's what I did. So after monumental mistakes, on or around the age of 19, I ended up with 37 years in prison for a crime. What I was convicted for, I didn't necessarily commit. Um, while I was in there, I had to get my eighth grade certificate, my high school diploma. I was able to get a paralegal a certification as a paralegal in paralegal studies from the Blackstone School of Law. I filed my own appeal. I came home. I've had 3 children since I've been home, 3 daughters. I was able to establish a successful business. I've been able to keep consistent work. And although I've bumped my head a few times, I've been able to find my way. So when you talk about me being an inspiration, I like to present myself as a walking testament to it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And that's what our people need to see. Bro, a lot of times, man, my brothers and some of my sisters, we use everything around us as justification for why we're not doing the right thing. And sometimes you have to hear from a person that wasn't always doing the right thing to say, hey, you know what? That ain't what we're supposed to be doing. That wasn't right. It is another way, and we got to give ourselves a chance to do the right thing. But I don't think that our community will respect or accept that statement from anybody that hasn't lived it. So my campaign is kind of built on real lived experiences as opposed to the politician's speech.
I love that. Real lived experiences.
Hmm.
One of the key is that you actually should be someone from DC if you're going to talk about Washingtonians' real lived experiences.
Hmm. Well,
And we tend to have a lot of folks coming into our city that don't know the way and the history of our city, but yet want to tell us how we should live, how we should progress, what we should do, what we should want. Can you
yep.
speak?
Well, let's start with locally. Locally, all our local politicians should actually be from our immediate area. I do believe that due to the state of our city, that you have to have some experiences from top to bottom to actually know what you're talking about. When you talk about violence intervention, when you talk about safety, when you talk about what the schools need, if you haven't been to the schools in the local area, if you haven't been put in a situation where your safety was necessarily at risk on a daily basis, like mine might be or yours might be, then I'm not sure that you have the necessarily knowledge to speak to what my community needs. A lot of these people are sitting around, bro, and they looking at us on a piece of paper, and they trying to make decisions based off numbers without lack of experience or even walk down the streets that we live on. And I think that it's unacceptable. And I think whether or not it's by malice or default, that we have to install people that have been the product of the bad policies and legislation that was created for us. Because I think that those are the people that know what we need. If you haven't seen it through your eyes, I'm just not. That's locally. As far as federally, globally, anybody sticking their nose in DC business right now is a problem for me. Especially when we're talking about things coming out the White House. But my campaign, bro, is about accountability, not just for the White House or the government. It's for my people too. A lot of the reasons that the White House has every excuse for why they intervening in DC business right now. But my question is, have we given them any reason to? Have we misappropriately spent money? Have we been fraudulent? Have we not protected our citizens? Not to say this is justification for anybody in our business, but real talk. Let's talk about everything. Let's not just keep pointing a finger. Are we handling our business in DC to the degree that we can say, hey man, stay out of our business? You
Mm,
understand where I'm coming from, young brother?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a lot of people feel like we have dropped the ball as a city, and some Washingtonians even welcome help from the government. I remember when Biden's administration stepped in and gave a very, very awakening, yet poor review of our DC housing.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that need to be done with our DC housing. And just while you're speaking on accountability
Mm-hmm.
and government oversight, this is a question that I always ask all of our council candidates, even at large candidates. One of the biggest responsibilities of the DC government council is to perform oversight on its agencies. And every time someone says they're running, this always comes up. I've been a part of maybe 2 or 3 elections that I've been heavily involved in and paying attention to just about every candidate now. And everyone says the same thing. They're all saying, yeah, we're going to do oversight. Yeah, we need more oversight. Yeah, we're going to hold these agencies accountable. What's different about you, bro? Because I keep hearing this, and I'm like, well, somebody please, like, help.
So what they don't want to say, brother, is they still want to be friends with the people that they're gonna have to say what I'm about to say is what should have been said, but they don't want to say it because they still want to be friends with people. Let me tell you something, man. People need to start being heavily fined, expurgated from DC politics forever, and some of them need to go to jail. Period. End of discussion. If me or you break law, where we going? They're gonna come put cuffs on us. They're gonna send us to jail.
Yes.
You know, if you're stealing from your city in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you know, especially if it's with malicious, nefarious, and just pure intent to do the wrong thing, hey, go to jail. Go to jail. They should fine you the way you be paying that stuff for the remainder of your life if you got the cojones to steal from your city. You know, and at the least, you should never be able to run again. You know, and now mind you, everybody innocent until proven guilty, man. This is America. You know, but some of this stuff is the bar is being raised to the level of criminal with the intent of the things that these people are doing. We're misappropriating millions and millions of dollars. DC get a $22 billion budget. Over half of that is local taxpayer dollars that are being misappropriated while our kids are dying in the streets. Hold them accountable. Man, send them to jail. This ain't no game. Our kids are dying. Man, I don't know about you, brother. I got 5 daughters. I'm trying to create a world for them to live in for when I'm no longer here. Send they ass to jail.
All right.
That's you know, that's where I'm at with it. You know,
I agree.
I ain't playing no games, man. You know, I'm not trying to make friends. I'm not here. I'm trying to figure out where the money at. Where is it going? Why are we spending so much money on education, but yet and still our kids are 40% behind everybody else in the United States, while you're trying to tell me to my face that, yeah, we're doing great in the city. We're up 30%. These are not the actual numbers. I'm just telling you how they talk. We up 30% as far as our school system. But yeah, we still 50% behind everybody else in the United States. So where's all this money that y'all spending on education going? Man, if I find out you stealing from the kids, I'm going to be a full advocate. Your ass go to jail.
Yeah.
If that's the path. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know everything. But I'm in hopes that when I win, I will be able to hire good legal counsel that will be able to attack these issues, because I'm not trying to find out you stealing and then be sitting voting with you the next week. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. I think that the same laws that they come up to lock up the people in the street, the black man in the street that is in his community, and in a moment of starving, he do something insane, they lock him up.
Yes.
What's the difference now? Innocent till proven guilty. But at some point, we have to be realistic. How else do we hold people accountable? Smacking them on the wrist? Nah, I ain't with that.
Now, you talked about schools and you talking about holding them accountable. And I want to play this clip that I don't think many of our people know about what's going on, but I want to hear your reaction right afterwards.
Right.
All right, listen up, DC, because what's happening inside our District of Columbia Public Schools, DCPS, is way bigger than a budget argument. I'm talking about a schoolhouse swindle that's rocking the mayor's office and all the people running our city. Let's just call it like we see it. The DC Mayor Bowser administration is an orgy of corruption. So here's the schoolhouse swindle deal. Whistleblowers, a former DCPS school principal and a former DCPS director, have been sounding the alarm since 2019. We're talking misused and misguided federal funds, a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract, conflict of interest, and a scheme that's lining the pockets of DCPS instructional superintendents with taxpayers' dollars, all with City Hall looking the other way. It centers around this lawsuit, Jackson King versus District of Columbia. The claim in part, that DCPS superintendents shamelessly pressured school principals to redirect federal student funds, forcing principals to channel them directly to the DC government contractor Relay Graduate School of Education, known as Relay, a nationally controversial entity, vehemently criticized by leading academics, through which Relay brutally implemented draconian, no-excuse, school-to-prison pipeline tactics. But wait, these same superintendents were also working for Relay and getting paid by Relay. Now, that's a massive conflict of interest, and according to the whistleblowers, straight up extortion. Yeah, extortion. In 2020, DCPS principals who opposed Relay practices received piss-poor evaluations from their superintendent and swiftly fired. Yep, that's correct. Let's talk numbers for a second. In just one school year, DCPS alone sent over $720,000 to Relay, and federal money isn't pocket change here. In 2021 to 22, the district got nearly $389 million in federal funding. That's over $4,000 per student. Money meant for our kids' education, funneled to pad the wallets of already well-paid administrators. In 2021, a DCPS superintendent annual salary was $185,760. Therefore, superintendents exploiting their power, principals being forced to play along, and nobody at the top giving a damn to stop it. The kicker? Local independent oversight agencies like the DC Board of Ethics and Governmental Accountability, BEGA, are too compromised by the mayor to investigate fairly. And after 5 long years of stalling, BEGA eventually found one of the 9 superintendents guilty of multiple DC code violations, proving the whistleblower's allegation precisely accurate, and fined the superintendent just $2,500. That's like finding a leak in the Titanic and plugging it with a piece of chewing gum. Now, DC residents are demanding action. Should U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro step in to investigate the mayor's office, dig into the lawsuit, and finally hold these folks accountable? Many are calling for the House Oversight Committee to put Mayor Bowser under oath. This isn't just about spreadsheets and contracts. It has real impact on our children and educators.
It has real impact on our children and educators. Folks are stealing money. Folks in the government are stealing money, and they're getting, like they said, a slap on the wrist. $2,500 fine when hundreds of thousands of dollars are gone missing. This got to change, bro.
Hey, brother, that's hard to even listen to and watch. And you see why I said, Joe, if you got the cojones the way you're going to steal from the kids' education and rob them of their future, I don't see no place else for you to go. It makes no sense to me. And you see, when we talk about the fines, there's no real life consequences. And they know it. And that's why they're so eager to do it. We need to make sure that this legislation passed to make sure that there are actual consequences when you do things like this. I think that if you steal from the kids, that you should be financially crippled with a fine that you and the next generation of your family will have to pay. Because this is, what are we talking about here? Children? Children. And see, you see what they said? People are asking, should Ms. Pirro step in? I think that's what they said, that's her name. You know, and that goes back to the question we asked about people intervening in our business. We're not handling our own business. So when Trump say, hey, I want to protect the kids, and he used the DC kids as his platform to ram the federal government down our throat, we will be sitting here crying and complaining about racism. Oh, the white man and Trump, and everybody's against us, and they're attacking us. No, you stole from the kids. And you're giving them a reason, and you're giving these people a reason to bother us. You're giving these people a reason to be in everything we're doing. And I think that we have to, man, it has to be real life punishment. The punishment needs to fit the crime. These are crimes, brother. Crimes. Crimes against our community. I'm sorry, man. I try not to get emotional and very passionate, but, you know, I live real life.
I get it.
This stuff affects people on the ground. You know, see, when you sitting outside of the laws that you're passing and the stuff that you're putting in place so that it don't hurt you and your family, it's easy to look away. Man, I'm sitting on the bottom right with y'all. And not necessarily with y'all, but because I don't know if you on the bottom, but everybody that's on the bottom, let them know I'm right here with them. That's where I'm at. I feel this stuff every day that they do. I'm not one of them, man. I'm not on their side. So I don't even remember what the question was, because after I heard that filthy, disgusting stuff, all I can think about is send them to jail. Send them to jail.
I agree, man. It's disturbing. It's disturbing
Your
to know that
babies.
we sit here and fight. And I mean, I'm a part of the Fair Budget Coalition, and we sit here and we fight for these budgets. We fight for these needs of our people. And the mayor and the council are constantly saying we don't have money, we don't have the funding, or the budget is short, or we got to cut back on this, got to cut back on that. And you're like, first of all, this budget is only about DC money. We're not even talking about the federal dollars that you guys sometimes just don't even bother spending because you don't want to follow the rules behind it, or the federal money that you guys misspend. And it's like, after a while, you're just tired of keep talking about it and keep hearing about it, and you're like, something got to be done.
Hey, bro, all they do is talk. And the way they talk, you would think that it ain't nobody in the council or the mayor's office that can count from 1 to 10. And it's so blatant and it's so
Right.
easy to see. Man, let's just call it what it is. This in our city, man, shout out to Marion Burry, because I think he was solid and for the people. But most of these other people, it's all about getting their friends rich. I heard they got a policy down the mayor's office. It says when you get out of office, if your friends and family not millionaires, you haven't done your job. They say that's the unspoken policy. And you can see it. You can see it. All these appointed agencies where people are appointed, them all the mayor's friends, her cousins, the hairdresser of the cousin. And we sit back and we act like we don't see it. We act like we don't know. We act like that when we FOIA these people that we don't see the same names on all these grants and sponsorships year after year after year. It's just like we brought up about Talbot Street. DC pays for condos to be made. They give the money to one of these companies that's somebody's friend. They don't do the job. And then when you affect the women that had equity into these spots, you go in the middle of the night and make a law that says DC can't be held accountable for the stuff that you do, for the stuff that they did. So not only will they steal from you, but then they'll make sure that they can't be held accountable for what they did to you. Man, that ain't coming from the White House. That's right here. That's 15 minutes from my house. My people, the people that look like this is doing this to me.
Yes.
So this goes back to what we was talking about in the beginning. Man, should people get involved in our business? I don't necessarily want them to, but what reason are we giving for them not to? I just saw something today about this assistant chief guy, MPD. You catch that?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, they done seized his phone, took him off duty, him and his wife.
Wow.
About them crime numbers, because everybody playing games. Everybody playing games. And see what happened, brother, they play games, right? They do stuff to their own people. And then when the man come to get them, they're going to come to me and you, and they're going to say, brother, the white man's coming to get us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he not. But in this particular instance, it was you that was getting me. And we got to be careful. We got to watch that line between what's going on locally and why the people that are not local keep coming into DC. Are they seeing something we not paying attention to? You know, they get to see the numbers on a high level.
Right. And that's a whole nother thing, because, I've been saying this for years and kind of thinking this, for a while, but we are all majority Democratic city, all blue, always vote blue. And we have all black leadership for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you would think that we don't really have the hurdles. We don't really have the division. You would think that we're able to get stuff done here more than most places.
See,
but why is it that we have an all blue city of all black leadership? Black folks keep getting left behind. What is the problem?
Stuff out loud, right? That's a we're not allowed to say that out loud, brother. You know that, right? We run the risk of disappearing off the earth because we say for the past 60 years we've been doing things the same way, voting the same way, and we still in the same predicament. People
Uh-oh.
ask me what's my campaign based on. I say go look at all the black men's campaign for the last 60 years. It's the same thing. Education, housing, healthcare. When does it stop? Who stands up one day and say, you know what, man? What is somebody playing a trick on us or something?
Yeah.
But if we say that out loud as black men, now you run the risk of being an Uncle Tom. You run the risk of being a house nigga. If I say anything about holding the people that look like me accountable, but you're right, my brother. We've been voting Democrat a long time. I'm not saying I want to vote another way. We've been voting black a long time. I'm not saying I want to vote another way. But at the end of the day, man, what is it getting me? What is it getting you? We have to look at that. We have to. Because you as a younger brother than me, man, you have an innate responsibility to your community to stand up and be a leader and say what's right from wrong, even if it costs you your own neck.
Yes.
Brother, I told the people to stop stealing out Safeway at the top of Alabama Avenue. I lived here for 25 years. I said that if the senior citizen that live in Woodland, she can't get the buoy. And if you steal out this Safeway, you're going to make the inventory bad, the price is going to go up. Don't make a difference who fault it is or why you got to steal. It's going to hurt the senior citizen. Man, I was an Uncle Tom for 2 weeks. House nigga on TikTok for 2 weeks. So we got to be careful because it's easier. Because remember, you sent me that message. You say, man, we're going to talk about being a black man. See, the black man, the real black man, has to hold his people responsible. He has to get in the chest of the people that he see doing wrong and tell them to do right. And then he can stand up and argue against the rest of the world and say, hey, I'm showing up with my boots tied up, my shirt on, my tie on, and I'm showing up proper, and you're going to respect me. But we live in a city, man, where they're stealing from the kids. And you want me to back your play when Donald Trump and his team of goons come to bother you? No. I hope he take your ass with him to wherever he going to drop you off so we can run our city properly. Do that mean I'm with Donald Trump? Absolutely not. It means I'm not with that BS that they've been doing to our people. But they'll try to conflate that if we say these things out loud. Oh, man, he's with Trump. No, I'm just not with you.
Right.
You know we're gonna be on here 2 hours. You done woke me up. I feel healthier after talking to you. Oh, it's on now, man, because I'm sick of these people, bro.
It's terrible, bro. It's terrible on every which way. And the next segment, I know we don't have too much longer, but the next segment, I did want you to talk a little bit about. You kind of touched on what was going on Talbot Street, but talk about what your plan and what your vision would be to fix our housing and unhoused crisis.
So it's a couple of different things. I'm gonna deal with the one that I don't understand first. So I'm screaming affordable housing all the time, and for me, everything relates to black people. But when you're running for council at large, it's a myriad. It's a beautiful rainbow of people out there that we have to take into consideration. So a lady walks up on me and she looks at my flyer and she says, well, I make $200,000 a year and I still can't afford housing. And my first take was to look at this. Was a white woman. My first take was to look at it. I said, well, you might be living beyond your means, because if I had 200,000, I'm sure I could find somewhere to live that was affordable. But I think that it was not understanding the issue. And I think there's a affordable housing issue for people in DC, no matter how much you make. So what I like to do once I get in office is hire the right people to attack that issue, that particular part of the issue that I don't understand, which is how do you make over $200,000 a year and still feel like you don't have affordable housing? Now, let me tell you the part that I don't understand, which is this voucher system. So you can have a voucher for 20 years that's paying $4,000 in rent to somebody. You know what that is, right? So we got the government that's going to pay the $4,000 in rent a month for 20 years to one of these companies that own all these buildings that's somebody's friend. So we're gonna make them and their family rich for 20 years, when instead we could be incentivizing these property owners or forcing them to turn these apartment units into condos and putting our people on a path to ownership by paying month to month the same $4,000, not into a rent, but into a mortgage. Man, I ain't been to no real estate school, brother. I just told you my background. I grew up in a damn orphanage for the most part. And I could come up and think that clear. You think they ain't thought about that? They don't want to do that. They want to keep making, what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now. I don't want to quote him. I think his name started with John. But John owns 75% of the apartment real estate in DC when it comes to these apartments. So somewhere John is probably kicking some money back to somebody saying, hey, we want to slow that. We want to make sure that voucher program stay with just rent. Because you know, with the lifetime voucher, you can actually go get a house. And it's a little 1-year program you got to go through, but they don't tell you about it. They just keep pushing, hey, go rent something. Go rent something. Go rent something. Go rent something. We got to figure that out. So when we talk about affordable housing and long-term stability, that's one thing, is incentivizing or forcing these long-term DC property holders to convert these units into condos and put our people on the path to ownership. That's one thing. So with Talbot Street, I think that DC 100% paying for a company to build condos, that's a program to where some of our citizens can go through the program and get in and be on a path to ownership, was amazing. The problem was some snake in the DC government went and hired his damn friends that didn't even know how to build houses. You feel me? So we went and hired a bunch of people. We went and hired a company to build houses, somebody friends, to make them rich and just flop a whole great idea because we bring greedy and stealing. So I would probably reinitiate programs like that. We don't just need one set of houses built that the DC government paid for. $11 billion of taxpayer, $22 billion a DC local budget, over half of it being locally generated funds. Man, sound like we could have 2 or 3 housing developments built that we putting people on a path to ownership. Ownership. DC paying for everything. Man, we having events downtown in front of the library. I'm a member of the Go-Go community. You know this. $250,000 events where we kicking the homeless off the street to spend in one night. And you mean to tell me we can't put that money towards somebody having some ownership in housing? We got to redirect some of these funds, brother. We got to look at all these agencies and see where this money going and saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to need you to send some of that over there. We need to redirect some of this because you're getting too much, you're wasting it, and what are we getting from it? What's the benefit? We have to look at how these things are affecting DC. But once again, with the housing, it's putting our people on a path to ownership. Making sure that these vouchers that come out are forever. This rapid rehousing stuff, man. And I know I jump all over the place, but I've been through a lot, so just follow me. So with rapid rehousing, right, they know you homeless. They know you ain't got a job, but they'll go give you a check to where you can pay your first month's rent and your security deposit, and then they'll finance you for 90 days to 6 months, some of them a year, but after that, they just stop and put a person right back into homelessness. And they do it over and over and over and over again. I'm trying to figure out what this is about. I'm trying to figure out who's the mathematician behind all this. Why are we hiring these people at housing and everywhere else? They can't seem to get the job done. I think we need monumental administrative corrections from the bottom to the top. I think that you could probably do better running housing than the people that's over there right now. It's a lot of different things, brother. And I hope I answered the question. But like I say, some of these questions you asked are bringing up a bunch of anger because I'm sick of these people. Because me and you can sit on this conversation and come up with so many great ideas that would probably be so simple to implement. And it makes you say, well, why aren't they doing it? And it makes me think that it's not by coincidence. Some of the stuff these people are doing are by design. And it's to hurt us. And it's to make sure we don't grow and to keep their foot on our neck. If not, somebody explain to me why they do these things.
Well, I might get in trouble for saying this.
Uh-oh, you gonna get me put out this race. But go ahead.
I tell you what, it is widely believed that our mayor in her office with these rapid rehousing, the rapid rehousing vouchers were not meant to be used for what they are being used for. They were meant to be used to help those to become stable who already had a plan and the ability to become stable after just a little
Right.
bit of help. However,
Right.
the mayor has used these rapid rehousing vouchers to clear the shelters. To just, oh, these people are homeless. Oh, we've cleared this amount. Oh, these people on the streets. Oh, we got rid of 40% of homeless population. Yeah, you did this year, but next year that 40% will be back homeless. You don't want to talk about that. So yeah, we did use it for the wrong reason, and I do believe they originally had good intentions, but our mayor office and city leaders were intent on proving certain numbers, and
Yeah.
therefore things became misguided and misused.
And and that's why I said it goes back to, see, when you talk about them numbers, once again, we're not talking about somebody dropping the ball. We talking about somebody intentionally doing the wrong thing to inflate numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference from we tried to do something and made a mistake. And I think that that's DC's problem. And our running theme on this conversation tonight seems to be oversight, oversight, oversight. And what's the cure for it? I think that there are multiple different degrees of where, and once again, shout out to Mayor Bowser for whatever it is that people believe she's done. But at the end of the day, she can't do everything. But it
Facts.
comes down to hiring the right people. Who are the people responsible for overseeing this stuff? Our council. And then
Yeah.
when we go to these oversight hearings, and I just went to one with Office of Cable Television, man, it seemed like they were just in there just talking. Oh man, you messed up? Oh, no problem. Don't worry about it. There has to be consequences for somebody. As soon as harsh consequences come down for, we got on paper, we're going to do things this way with $3 million. As soon as we found out that the $3 million was done for anything other than what it was on paper for, it needs to be consequence.
Yes.
I think that this is a basic understanding that me and you just came up with that we agree upon. And you don't
Yeah.
think that these so-called smart individuals that's going to get in all these forums and tell us all their accomplishments and everything they done did, they can't come up with something this simple? Or I get it. Hey, we all got to vote together. So why are some of y'all voting intentionally to make stuff harder for black people? We need to check that. We need to figure it out. We need to call it out. You know? But you run the risk of being another Martin or another Malcolm or being assassinated. You run the risk of being blackballed, man. I've been blackballed in the go-go industry for a long time because I talked about some truth. 3.9 million going out every year for go-go since 2019. Ain't nobody in go-go know about it, but other than about 10 people till about 2021. So when I started talking about it and yelling and screaming, brother, they all attacked me. Everybody that was breaking down the 3.9 million tried to buy me off, give me jobs, give me money, cut me checks. And I just kept talking. And then I realized, goes back to what you talked about to me earlier, why I got in this. Because when I went looking for go-go money, I found out they were stealing money from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We have voted nothing but thieves in the office.
Mm.
And who is it on? Is it on the thief? But we know they thieves. We know. And we keep voting for them. We keep voting for them. It's time to try something new. Man, I didn't get in this. Trust me, my intention, I didn't wake up one morning and just say, hey, man, I'm going to change the world. My perspective going to be counsel at law. Nah, I woke up and I got tired of talking on the internet. I got tired of talking to my peers that wouldn't listen. So I'm going to live by example. I need brothers that know the truth. Man, we need to start running from these offices. We need to start creating our own network of people that are going to get behind us and support us over the next 3 to 5 years so we can change not necessarily the color of what our city look like, but the techniques and the style of people that are in those offices. I'd rather sit next to a few brothers and sisters with real life experiences instead of a bunch of these fake Ivy League, I know it all, these career politicians, man. Like, it's even when we was on the forum that night I met you in person. I'm listening to these people. I've been doing this 10 years. I've been doing it 15 years. Man, that's a testament against you. That ain't no testament for you. You've been here 15 years, man, and we still in the same position. Get out of here. And all I need to do, that's why I got to get on this ballot, bro. Because I swear to God, in all these forums and all these spaces, I'm going to look them right in their face and I'm going to say these same things. And they're not ready for it. They're not going to be expecting that. They think I'm going to be coming in there playing the calculator and the numbers game with them. We spent $3 billion here and blah. Nah, man, you just ain't did nothing. I'm going to point out to you in real time how you've done nothing. Come on, walk outside with me. Look that right there on the street. At this homeless man laying here that's been laying here for 10 years on the same streets where you claim you're doing something. Sometimes it's just as simple as looking outside your door. They make it complicated to confuse us. They make it complicated, man. And, you know, we need people with real life experiences. We need people that are trying to make friends. We need people that don't care about, you know, who the mayor is or who she know or who this, man, I don't care about none of y'all. I don't want to be y'all friends. I'm not trying to have dinner with you. That's the person we need.
Yes.
We need people that are going to create, that are worried about creating a world that we might not be in one day. These people are worried about creating a world that they can live off and eat off now. I don't think I have to be a super politician to know that. I don't think I have to have been doing politics for the past 30 years to really want to do the right thing for my community. I think that I just got to wake up one day and put my energy towards doing the right thing. And I think that if I do it and the next black man see me, they going to do it. And then the next black man after that, and the next black man after that, and the next black man after that. We got to get the men back outside. We got to get the true leaders back outside. The James Evans, the Uncle Phils. We need those men back outside to lead the community. Right now, that's not what's going on, man.
So, you know, one last question I have for you. You know, you talk a lot about, hey, let's lock up the corrupt. But being a black man, when we talk about public safety in this city, I know we tend to say we don't need as many police officers. Right. We tend to talk about the need to invest more in violence interruption and violence prevention. Whereas our mayor say, look, our police are facing a shortfall. Sometimes we do need the National Guard to come in and help. When it comes to public safety, as a black man, remembering your life as a black kid in this city,
and as a man
what is your approach?
Years in prison.
What was that?
11.5 years. You there?
You with us?
Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your approach?
Yeah. So it's several things. So let's start with repeat offenders. Most people that are locked up now and currently getting locked up on a daily basis are repeat offenders. I remember after doing 11.5 years in prison, the day that I got ready to get out, man, you know, they just pretty much opened the door and said bye. So when I came home, that first month was critical as to whether or not I was going to end up back in prison. So we got companies in there, these private prisons, right, where they're working people for 30 cents a day, bro. Instead of giving these people an actual, maybe not necessarily minimum wage, but some type of wage to the tune of whatever it needed to be, so that when they got out, they would have built up enough money in an account so that their first month in the street they're not faced with hunger, homelessness, a need to survive. And they can do this by these private companies are making billions of dollars off, you know what it is, it's slavery.
Yes.
So stop paying these people 30 cents a day, man, our brothers and sisters and whomever else 30 cents a day, and pay them something that they can save up so that when they come home with an actual trade and a certification that we can give them, that they come home directly to employment, directly to housing, and I think that will take down some of that recidivism. It'll take down a person coming home recommitting crimes. These are not new criminals every day. These are people, it's a lot of these people are just people coming home that have nowhere to go. They don't know what to do. That's part of it. Another part of it is some of our public safety issues is our mental health. Some of our people are not, some of the people that are out here committing crimes, bro, I can promise you, they're not making conscious, logical decisions because they don't have the mind to do that. Once again, $22 billion budget, over half of it locally taxpayer dollars that's supposed to go to your healthcare services, your education, and your public safety. Mental health, right there, that's two of them right there. But then we take the mental health person, we lock them up, throw away the key, then we let them right back out without the help, they're committing crimes again. So I think that one of the things we need to do is once we get a person in custody, it's just like me. I had good people behind me that put me on a path while I was in prison. Man, I turned my life around, bro. And I can't lie to you, just being accountable. Hey, I actually needed to go to prison at the time that I was out here doing what I was doing. I could have cost somebody their life. I could have lost my own life. I wasn't being a father to my kid. I wasn't listening to nobody. Now, understanding that I came up during the time of the crime bill, understand that racism and blah, 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 blah. But when I got 18, right, I started to become a man. And if I wasn't going to listen to anybody to make a decision to do the right thing, and I was just going to continue to do the wrong thing because the world had its foot on my neck and blah, 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 I had to suffer the consequence of that. And if I had not suffered the consequence and went to prison, I wouldn't be here today running for council at large. So I think that sometimes we also have to be real in our community when it comes to public safety and say, hey, man, young brother, young sister, older sister, if you're committing crimes, one or two things is going to happen. You remember that conversation? You're going to be dead or in jail.
Yep.
And that ain't got nothing to do with all these external factors. In the immediate, you have to decide whether or not you want to die or go to jail. So I think that amongst our community, we have to start having some real conversation. I think if we do that, that will also go to public safety. But also, we can start killing two birds with one stone. We're down officers. We're down 2,500 officers at the MPD. Those that are working 16 to 18-hour days. The last thing I need, if me and my wife get into it, is for Officer Bob that ain't slept in 24 hours to come here on a domestic violence call. Can you dig it? I don't need that. So I don't know if you know, but we have a program, right, that goes into the high schools. It's a cadet program that allows the kids that are seniors in our DC public schools to join the cadet program, start making money, and then come out the program and make more money than the average officer if they decide to go through with it. Guess how many schools this is in?
How
Man,
many?
you can count them on less than one hand. Might be two. And this will cure, we got the most public safety problem for our kids is the hours after school.
Yes.
Between 3 to 7 o'clock. But if we got them in the cadet program and we financing the cadet program, you hear me? They go straight from school, straight to work, straight home. Straight from school, straight to work, straight home. It ain't no time to be out on the corner smoking reefers and getting into all type of crazy stuff. It just ain't no time. So we have to have these programs, man, that are in our school system that are covering that time between 3 to 7 and also pushing our kids on a path to direct job placement where they're making real money. You're making money, you're not stealing. You're making money, you're normally not killing. You're making money, you're normally not robbing. Some of these things are easy fixes. So my approach would be to take real life experience and employ logical, just direct logical things that will help us in the immediate. Like pipelines straight in the school system from the high school You in the cadet program, you go straight out here to be a job. Man, we killing more than two birds with one stone. Now we got people from our community that are actually our police.
Yes.
They actually know people. You know, once again, I tend to jump around, man. I'm a little under the weather. You got me a little passionate today because I love how you talk. So when we talk about public safety, you got to start with accountability. Hey, man, when you see the young brother on the street, man, you got to pull him up. You see the young sister on the street, and you can tell them, hey, leave with whatever you want. Hey, man, yeah, the world is against you and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? Today you have a decision. And if you can only reach one person in your lifetime, man, that's one less young person that ends up in a damn cemetery or somebody's prison.
Yes.
In prison, we got to stop acting like these people not coming home. It's ridiculous. You put a person in a bathroom for 15 years. You make them live there. You don't teach them nothing. You don't allow him to earn nothing so he can appreciate no work, so he can save nothing and come home with stability. And then you just open up the door and let him out and wonder why he go bananas.
So true.
We have to invest in our people that we know are coming home. We have to realize that although a person committed a crime, when they go to prison, man, these are still our people.
Yes.
They still have value. But you know, that's a whole nother story. We can get into that. You know that's by design.
Man, you get a lot of reactions from the public, man. So, you know, a lot of stuff you're saying is definitely resonating with the people. I really, really like my heart's desire is for you and for your message to really get out here and reach our people, man, because people need to hear these things. People need to know these things, and people need to act on these things. So whatever the people's voice could do to help you reach others. I saw you sent me a few things earlier, man. We definitely will try to be a part of that outreach and getting that message across. Because listen, win, lose, or draw, of course, for you, I hope you win. But, you know, win, lose, or draw, these are things that need to be talked about. These are conversations that need to be had. And I really appreciate you. You are the first candidate that has come on this show and that has been that totally transparent, that has been that brutally honest. And you just brought our show, in my opinion, to a whole different level. So I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that.
You know what? I appreciate you so much, man. We do have an event that we're inviting all the candidates to at 1865 on Monday, March 16th from 5 to 10. It's going to be an opportunity, and I love for you to be there. For all the candidates to come out and meet the Go-Go community. You know, the Go-Go community has big voting power. And I don't know if nobody noticed, but everybody is using Go-Go for their backdrop. So we decided to actually bring the real Go-Go community out and allow people to speak to them. And as far as what you can do, brother, man, just keep being solid and keep telling the truth. And don't get afraid. And whether I'm here today or tomorrow, man, just keep pushing. Man, don't let them bully you. Don't let them use, man, they will try to use every tangible thing you got and threaten to take it away from you if you dare to tell the truth. Man, let them take it away. Don't let them dangle nothing in front of you, not a check, not a number, not a job, not an experience. Don't let them try to put nothing tangible in front of you that they can threaten to take away to stop you from telling the truth. That's all I need you to do. Because I know if another black man see you, they're going to say, oh, man, I remember black men like that. I want to be one of them again.
Yes.
That's what I need. Stay solid, man. Stay solid, stay real, and stay far away from being a politician. But get into politics.
Hey.
I need you to run next year. I ain't going to lie to you. How else we going to change it, man? How else we going to change it if the people that really know don't take the leadership? And I ain't going to put all that on you. I don't know if a candidate ever did that. But, man, you know, we need some people we need the people that make decisions that know how to make the decisions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The hard ones, too.
It's going to wrap up our show, but I did want to, I always end our show letting our guests have the last voice. If there's anything that we didn't talk about, anything that you want to leave the people with, this is your time. Right after you speak, we will end our show. The floor is yours.
Once again, check out my campaign at www.runjoejackson.com. The only way to keep this thing going is with good signatures and good donations. Um, I'm a regular person. I've been through some extreme hardships in my life. Now I done had some glory moments too. I ain't gonna lie to you, because out of all the hardships I tell you I've been through, I'm a father of 5 daughters. I have a loving wife. I won the Mayor's Unsung Hero Award. I have a successful business. So I'm a testament to it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. You get up every day and you strive for perfection and you strive to be your best. And if you only get halfway there, it'll be better than where most people are at. www.runjoejackson.com.
All right, real quick. If you've ever yelled at your phone like, man, why nobody ever talks about this? Congratulations. This podcast is for you. Welcome to the People's Voice, DC, where the city finally gets the mic. And nah, this ain't one of those podcasts where everybody sounds smart, but nobody actually saying anything. We talk real life, DC life. The kind of conversations you have after work, on the metro, or when the group chat gets serious out of nowhere. Yeah, we talk politics, but don't worry. Nobody yelling over each other. Nobody reading off cue cards. And definitely nobody pretending they got it all figured out. We're talking housing, money, schools, mental health, culture, faith, purpose, relationships. Basically all the stuff that actually affects your life, but somehow never gets explained right. This podcast is powered by Rising Voices of Politics and founded by Reverend Michael Campbell. But listen, you don't gotta be a politician, a preacher, or an expert in nothing to belong here. If you got opinion, questions, or just a story to tell, you already qualify. And the energy, chill, honest, a little funny. Sometimes deep, sometimes light, but always real. Catch us live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on YouTube and social media. Miss it? Cool. It drops the same night at risingvoicesdc.org, and you can listen anytime on Spotify. So whether you're outside, inside, commuting, procrastinating, or just tired of podcasts that don't sound like you, tap in, tune in, laugh a little, learn something. This is the People's Voice, DC, where the conversations make sense. The people are real. And yeah, we might even say what you've been thinking.